Welcome everybody in. I know the excitement level has now grown because everybody got to see real football. I did not. I'm going to be honest, Brent, to start the show. Brent Rollins joins me as always. I'm David Pollack. I'm supposed to introduce him. I'm really bad at that, bad at introducing myself. That's not my strength. But we had real football. And I made a comment last week about week 0. You made a comment about the weather. I'm like, first of all, what makes a man look up the weather? Why are you looking up the weather in a football game? That's weird. And just, I'm not surprised because Brent's one of the most analytical people you'll ever meet in your life. Like literally thinks about things in a perspective that most people don't, which makes it really unique. But I will say this. I was upset in the first half. Like I was a little bit, I was perturbed because I waited all this time to get football and I was so excited. And I was jacked up, and I was ready to rock and roll, and I felt like it was really sloppy because the weather sucked. Like,
I
was not excited to start the game. I'm not going to lie.
No, it was. I mean, and I could see the frustrations there, but it's one of the things where I'm never going to take football for granted. Seeing actual football that counts and that matters, like never going to take it for granted, especially when you think about how the day started. So you're talking about the weather, which, by the way, I thought was hilarious.
I'm sure you did.
It becomes a thing
Mr. Weatherman
at the beginning, and then you end the day in like sunny and the most perfect weather on the planet in Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
So like that's just a perfect encapsulation of week 0 football. But hey, no matter what, Iowa State should feel really good about themselves as they travel back.
First thing I was ticked off. I'm like, all right, why are these good teams playing these conference games on the road with very little atmosphere and terrible weather? Like that's my first thought. But it's the Big 12, so guess what happens? It delivers. Like always,
yes.
It always finds a way to deliver. I think we learned a couple of things. Both sides were sloppy early. Like both sides were, a lot of fumbles, a lot of mistakes. The passing game was non-existent. For the first quarter, Brent, the left tackle was the leading receiver for Kansas State, which I thought was absolutely comical because he was the only one who caught a football off of a batted pass. But
yes.
But to me, what did you think swung it and made the difference? Because there's a couple things to me that really stuck out late in the game that I thought gave Iowa State the advantage over Kansas State, and it's the reason they won.
Coach Donnan always refers to this, and he always says, hey, be like Socrates, know thyself. And Iowa State knows thyself. And we were talking when we talked about them, how do you handle the loss of 2 high draft picks, like the highest draft picks of your entire school's history? Well, you play all kinds of tight ends. And you play them as many as possible on every snap, and in the biggest of moments, that's who you throw it to.
Yeah.
So
that
was the big thing for me.
That was good, and knowing thyself obviously is critically important. I think those weapons will continue to develop. I think when the weather's better, it will continue to develop. But here's the thing that impressed me: Iowa State ran the football. Iowa State was more physical on both lines of scrimmage. Iowa State was 3 for 3 on 4th down. 3 for 3. Like that was the pivotal things when they needed to make plays. And late in the game, I don't know what analytics tells you. Up 3 in plus territory, like going in, you kick a field goal and you make them go score 7 to beat you. And you probably feel pretty good about that. But Iowa State and Matt Campbell was like, nah, bro, that's not what we do. My best player is Rocco Becht. I'm going to give him the ball, put it in his hands, and he absolutely makes a play on 4th down. Kansas State didn't make those plays. And I would love more than anything, Brent, if we had time to do breakdowns in here and just show people all the time like the film. Go look at Avery Johnson run the football on that 4th and short. He makes a couple of critical errors, man. He makes a cut and he balls up. Like, listen, this is late in the game. You're not a quarterback anymore. Like, you are a running back that needs to lower your shoulder, take all your momentum, and keep falling forward. And if you watch, man, he slows his feet down. He kind of turns his shoulder. And that was a big part of this game because Iowa State gets the ball on their own 30. Kansas State went for it on their own 30-something. Like,
own 30.
Own 30. Like, that's a big deal. And they fail because I'm a firm believer he could have stuck that thing in there, Brent, and could have been more physical, and he would have got it. He absolutely would have got that first down, but they were 1 for 4, and and Iowa State was 3 for 3. Like in critical moments, when you needed a big play, Rocco Becht, Iowa State ran the football, were more physical, stopped the run better, and that I feel like we're going back to Little League football, but that's exactly what they did in the critical moments.
Let's go back to the fourth down with Avery Johnson, because I'm probably going to say it and not be nice about it. But the decision itself, so that decision, I think it was 8-19 to go in the game on your own 30, 4th and 1, you're down 17-14. That was one where, like, I'm normally a go for it all the time. That's probably one where I would have been just like, okay, let me try to play the field position game here a little bit, at least. Yeah. But the only way I've looked at this, and I rewatched the play a ton, the only thing that I can possibly think of is that he thought he already had the first down because of the way the screwed up field was and the no lines, and because the paint was gone, and
which
all
is
that
weird.
Sort of garbage.
It's different. It's a different look, man.
And I didn't see any comments from him. I didn't look to see if he had said, "Hey, I thought I got it." I didn't.
Did you think he got it?
I don't. I mean, maybe. Who knows? But in the end, no matter what it is, that was soft as Charmin. That was unreal. Like, that might, if you look at their team and you're just like the entirety of your team, and the quarterback kind of does that and doesn't just show the guts, by the way, that the other quarterback did the entire game.
Yeah.
That's just that's one
the blocking
hard
was
to swallow
there
for them.
The blocking was there. They did the math, which is really, but they tried to go up the middle early in the game and had very little success. They did a good job pulling guys, using your quarterback in the run game. Your quarterback got to make that play. Like, he's too good of a player. He's too good of an athlete to lose momentum and to ball up. But credit to Iowa State. Like, it was sloppy. A bunch of turnovers. They had more fumbles, Iowa State, in that game than they had all of last year. Like, literally more fumbles than all of last year because it was kind of sloppy. But here's what you found out if you watched football this week, which, welcome, you should be watching football. So now we know, right now, Iowa State's the best team in the country, right? Right? I mean, can we all say that out loud?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, Iowa State, the most impressive win, the best team in the country. But let me tell you something. I also watched Kansas, and I was just reminded about how good of a coach Leipold is. Like, so good, man. And I'm not saying Kansas is going to win the Big 12, but if you watched Kansas, and I'm not saying they were tested by Fresno State, but we'll have something more on Fresno State later. But just the offensive design, Brent, you're an offensive play caller. Like, you understand it. You understand the game. They're as good as anybody in the country, man, at understanding how to use their guys, how to use pre-snaps, motions, shifts, post-play, guys going across the formation, just making your eyes go slanted and cross-eyed, like, because they're going to make you think so much. And as much as I was impressed with Iowa State, which I was, Kansas, Jalen Daniels there again, like, that was a fun watch too, man.
88.7 overall PFF grades for Jalen Daniels. And the biggest thing watching them that my mind went to was, especially with them in like the split back look, where there was 2 running backs on either side of Daniels. It felt very Rich Rod, like West Virginia with Pat White, where the sort of crossbuck action, misdirection out the wazoo, like, that was
so good.
And
man,
if you do that, and if he stays healthy, they're a different team. And by the way, shout out to David Booth, who just dropped the $300 million check, and they got the new stadium, the look, like how excited probably was that fan base to see their team on their home field. That was a good opening win for them. Which,
let me tell you something.
Of the Big 12 is going to be one score galore. We know that already, but it's fun to see and fun moment for Kansas. Fun weekend.
I got to say this, Brent, and I hate saying this. I absolutely hate saying this. If game 1 was an indicator for Jalen Daniels, absolutely 0% chance of making it through the season. And I don't take pride in saying that, and I'm not wishing injury on him. I'm just telling you, the guy is exciting. He's one of the most exciting players in all of college football. He's got slipperiness. He's got wiggle. He can sling it, but he holds on to it to the last minute because he's tough. He takes shots because he's tough. We talked about another guy We're not mentioning toughness with this guy. Like
No.
Jalen's been banged up throughout his career. He's throwing slot fades down the field, but he's hanging on to the last second and getting destroyed by two guys. He's always dancing and moving and kind of looking around, and he gets pulled down from behind a lot. And so, I mean, I saw the weapons though. Highshaw, Williams, the guys that we talked about on this show. We talked about Emmanuel Henderson Jr., who came from Alabama and gives them the first bam guy. Like the first guy, first play they throw to him right now. They give him a now route because they're like, this dude can fly. So the offense is going to be exciting. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. It's going to be hard to stop. But, man, Jalen has to protect himself, not take that many hits. If he does, it will be impossible to survive a season, man. He's not big and strong like some of those other guys. He's a smaller build, a little bit slighter. But you talk about exciting, man, very few are as exciting as him.
Yeah, and we saw it at the end of last year. I mean, they got on a run. They kept Colorado out of the Big 12 championship. They beat, what was it, BYU late. They had
beat
that
everybody
win
late.
Yeah,
first unranked team to beat 3 ranked teams in a row, right? 3 or 4 ranked teams in a row.
So we saw that. I think one of the cool things about Kansas is the transfer portal in general. You see guys, and granted, this is one game. It's one game against Fresno State. It's not like we're not talking like it's the greatest thing ever. But LaShawn Williams, who had, I think, 64 yards and a touchdown, was Iowa's leading rusher 2 years ago. So it's a name that you likely don't hear about a lot because he was hurt last year and then transferred. And then Bengali Kamara.
Well, and they had one of the best running backs in the country at Iowa too.
Right.
So
right. And then Kamara off the edge. 3 QB pressures, strip sack, who was a 4-year guy at Pitt, goes to South Carolina and is like, they've got all kinds of dudes here, and new guys like Dylan Stewart. Like, I'm not going to play a lot, and sort of put himself in the portal after a few games at South Carolina, and then becomes a force there and makes plays for Kansas. So finding guys like that,
defensive tackle, another guy that
made
popped,
a lot of plays,
97. Like he was in there over and over again. So I mean, I don't know how much they'll stop people consistently. And again, watching Fresno's offensive line, we weren't putting together any clinic tapes. Like it was hard zone, and Kansas just stunted, and they literally ran things down left and right. But it was an impressive debut for Rock Chalk Jayhawk. You had to be impressed. Brett Taylor said he just got here and the like button was smashed. We like that, Brett Taylor. So thank you for smashing the like button.
Like that, very much so. But in terms of the Big 12, because obviously those were the teams that played and that we got to watch actual football. Like Iowa State, they're not very explosive. They're going to be every game they're going to be in, to me, for the most part, is going to, outside of maybe a few games they should take care of, like South Dakota next week. But do you trust Rocco Becht? Trust Matt Campbell in those close games, because they're going to be like, they're just not very explosive, and specifically not yet. Like the 2 transfer receivers didn't have a reception. Like the guys, the receivers that actually had receptions were guys they already had on the roster. So that's one thing. And then it's always going to be a coin flip, because like Kansas State, from a yardage, a per play perspective, they kind of outplayed them in a way, but didn't make the plays when it counted. And they're going to beat some teams, but they're also going to do some of the things that we saw this weekend. So it's going to be, we've talked about it before, it's going to be an insanely fun league to watch. It's going to be one that, week to week, upsets are going to happen, and somebody there. So, all right. The next thing that's on here, give a little pause, is this numbers piece.
Hold on. Did everybody hear that, by the way? Did everybody hear Brent go, hold on a minute, pause? So just for y'all, we want to be very clear and transparent here. Yeah. We want to always tell that. Like that, we're supposed to pause sometimes when they add in advertisements, but we're not supposed to say pause, Brent. But continue. I digress.
Oops. Yeah, should be talking here, not here.
That was fantastic. I love when people get to hear that. Behind the curtain, we're not trying to be well produced all the time, okay? We're going to mess up, we promise.
Well, and before we forget, by the way, before we move on from the Big 12, we got to show that's like you were looking for helmets for the wall there, and Coach Dillingham delivered in a big way.
I mean, look, here's the bottom line.
By the way, the fact that it fits you is even more amazing.
Here's the bottom line. Only one can be first. And we're going to put a bunch of helmets on this wall back here behind us. And if you hear me talking funny, it's because I got a chin strap on. We got the Arizona State lid on. Only one can be first. And they sent it to us first. And so we're going to put all these behind us. The studio is a work in progress. We're going to continue to add, and then we'll have people here and do all that fun stuff and all that jazz. But Arizona State is first. They deserve to be first. They deserve props. Kenny Dillingham, appreciate it. It's a good-looking lid. It will be going on the wall. The Pat Tillman on the back is really awesome right there, the shout-out. But, we wanted to give credit where credit's due to Kenny Dillingham.
Yes.
We appreciate that, brother.
Who's going to be
by the way,
doing the hanging, David? Who's going to hang the shelves up?
Not me. Was that Wes? Was that the beautiful sounds? Was that the silky smooth sounds of Wes? Did you hear that,
Wes,
everybody?
yes.
Wes
Yes.
Blankenship. He's here all the time, and he's going to be chiming in because he's utterly fantastic. We will get a McConaughey out of him at some point because there's no one better in the country. But who's hanging?
That's fantastic. I will say the irony, by the way.
You in a minute.
Me and Russ.
I figured Norm Pollack would be on that job in a heartbeat. By the way,
why not?
That sounds like a Norm Pollack, but we got to give him a few weeks to get that done. So I know he's listening too. So sorry about that, Norm.
All right, give me some numbers,
Brent.
Brent. Give me some numbers that popped out that makes me go, wow, that's crazy. Because you this is what you've done for a number of years with PFF. You find these numbers, you know how to look them up, man. I think it's letting people behind the curtain. This is what coaches look at. Like, coaches study the numbers of the guys, and they want to understand what they do well, what they don't do well. So that's a big part of football nowadays.
And I'm going to stick with the main game with the Iowa State-Kansas State game. First thing from a negative standpoint for Kansas State. We talked about first. Avery.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, because it was a thing. We talked about it, how Avery Johnson from a drop percentage standpoint, like everybody talked about Georgia receivers dropping passes last year, but Avery Johnson actually on a percentage basis, highest drop rate a season ago at 11.9%, number one in the Power Four. In that game,
they got better.
In that game, it was 12.5%. They had 3 drops, including one on the
big
fourth
drop
down,
on fourth down. That was huge.
Fourth down play. Bradley, 5.
Hey, you know what? They have not learned at Kansas State, and I guess at Georgia either. We don't drop passes. We drop classes. That's what you do in college. Come on now. You can't drop the passes. You gotta catch those, man. You drop the classes. But go ahead. I digress.
That's funny. Which, by the way, another aside. The thing, Avery Johnson looked like he struggled mightily with the rain.
He did. The ball looked like he didn't look like he could get a hold of the ball before he threw it. It looked like it was like a wet sock or something. Did you just do the Burger King commercial? Small hands, tiny hands.
Does he have small hands? Like,
yeah,
is the NFL draft gonna? Because it looked like a thing. It looked like it was really bothering him early.
Okay.
But anyway,
I don't know if this is in your numbers. When I watch Avery Johnson and I watch the Kansas State Wildcats, I still see the same Avery Johnson from a year ago where he's going to miss things. He's going to miss some of the wide open guys. So be it. That's all right. He's really good outside the numbers. Do you have numbers on that? Because every time he spit the ball out wide, I was like, good throw, on target, in rhythm. Even the one that was dropped on fourth down, it was a good throw. Like, it felt like he did his best damage out wide. Do the numbers support that?
to the left, not necessarily to the right.
Okay.
There you go. So he was 5 of 6 to the left with the TD.
And a drop.
Take it back, 6 of 7 and the drop.
And a drop. The drop on fourth down was to the left.
Yep. And then 1 of 4 to the right outside the numbers. So
interesting.
More so is left there. And the other number was looking at the victor. And we talked about it, and I just wanted to give some context to those numbers. Iowa State played 5 tight ends in the game. And those 5 tight ends combined for 174 snaps. There were 75 snaps total, but all of those guys, like Burkle, 84, played every snap of the game but 1. Brahmer, 18, 61 of the 75 snaps. And then 3 other guys each had double-digit snaps. I mean, they just tight ends galore. Wide receivers only had 128 snaps for Iowa State. So, they're going to work in progress. And we got these guys. Let's play them. And by the way, the 3rd and 1 call, the delay to the tight end was
dirty,
beautiful.
Absolutely dirty. And again, and that you want to see well-coached teams, by the way. I love when I see well-coached teams because watch the tight end engage. Block the outside linebacker first that's covering him man-to-man. Make it look like run. And it's so hard not to now be physical and peep your head in the gap. And then you throw into a 6'7" target. Like, throw the ball high. Let him go up and catch it. And listen, I told you last year, Brent, and I caught flack for this on the show. Like, I'm a Rocco Becht fan. Like, I just love the way he games and he balls. Short yardage situation when they need it. Spread it out wide. They're running him. Like, he's the guy they're going to get the football. Like, he's got enough gamer to him and enough slipperiness. He's not a freak. He doesn't run like Avery Johnson, but he's got enough wiggle to make you miss. And they've got enough creativity. Even the touchdown pass was a slant and go. You know, like they're smart enough to manufacture offense. Great game. It was a fun game to watch, especially in the second half. Because I did also, if you looked at the game, the first half had what? Like 21 points through 3 quarters. And then you go bananas in the fourth quarter and finish with a rage of, 24 straight points, which was fun to watch.
Yep, very much so. So that's what we got in terms of numbers this week.
That's our numbers.
That's what we got. The other fun thing that we're going to try to do on a weekly basis is eliminate teams from the college football playoff. By the way, do you know how many, a little trivia for you, how many FBS teams are there total?
Oh, gosh. 131.
136.
Dang it.
FBS teams.
Oh, for one trivia questions for the night. Dang it!
We need to keep that.
Hold on. Pause.
There.
Oh, wait. That was yours. All right.
So who gets eliminated after week 0 from the college football playoff? Because there was one clear, definitive one, and there was almost a one that I was about to say, how are you going to lose this game, opening game, Coach Dan Mullen at UNLV?
I knew you were going to Dan Mullen, but he pulled it out of the fire, baby.
Yes.
He made it happen. Okay.
Defense optional, and they've scored the most points.
I got 2 that I feel extremely confident. Fresno State, man, I just –
Sorry.
I appreciate your effort. I love seeing Kurt Warner on the broadcast a bunch. E.J. Warner, I think, is a kid that it's easy to cheer for. Like, you watch him, and he knows the answers.
Anticipates very well.
Oh, anticipates great. Offensive line around him, players around him, defense. Fresno State they're eliminated. They're officially eliminated in week 0.
Yep.
They're the first one. You agree?
Gandhi.
Wes?
Yes, very much so.
Do we have any Wes? Do we have any fun like noises yet? I want to do like the Family Feud, eliminated, kick on.
Yeah, I need to get like a soundboard, like some boos, and maybe give you like a studio audience kind of sound. We can
like that.
work on that.
I like that.
Yeah, you took mine with Fresno State.
Okay,
that was tough to watch.
that was
for sure.
That was ungood.
Ungood.
That's what you're supposed to say when you're on television. When you're a television person, you say ungood because that's a nice way of saying they sucked. They were not very good. I got another one for you though.
Who you got?
I think there's another one, Brent. I know they're not mathematically, but Stanford. I think they've already eliminated themselves. I feel like the way they did that and the way they lost that football game, I've seen it. Listen, they could still win the ACC. They could still be in this mix, and I'm sure there's some way that Fresno could be in this. Actually, I don't think so. I think they're gone. But either way, Stanford, I'm ready to eliminate them. I'm ready to say that I'm pretty sure they're not going to make it.
I don't know that they'll win a game. They might not win a singular game.
That's even worse
this season.
You just said not only did we eliminate from the national champion, you just said you're the worst in college football, one of the worst. Period. That's not good.
I mean, I
you know
don't.
What though? They're smart.
You look at their schedule;
they're
not
players. Okay.
Yes,
they're
but
smart kids.
That was the one on their. Yeah, it's going to be tough for them, and which is hard when you think back to Andrew Luck and all the success they had with Harbaugh and some of the really good teams they had for a while there. But yeah, I agree. They're done.
Right. So that's 2.
Very much so.
That's 2 on the elimination. We'll keep a tally. We'll keep a running tally of who's, and we can even call it he gone. But that's definitely the first part of the season. That's
What
unfortunately
are we going to do if they
happen.
come back though?
Huh?
What are we going to do if they make it back in?
They're not going to. I don't think you eliminate them until you're for sure that they're gone. And I've seen enough evidence already. They're gone. I'm 100% certain that both of those teams are out of the mix.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Another new segment this week is going to be the weekend W's. So our weekend winners, who won the whole weekend. And I'm going to go with the Big Ten. We kind of missed the SEC 9-game schedule news late in the week. I've gone on record. Georgia's every year rivals need to be Florida, Auburn, and Tennessee. I know a lot of Georgia fans got fired up about that. They think South Carolina, Kentucky should be considered above Tennessee, but man, they played Neyland. They hate the Dogs. That's a rivalry. So I think a person that won the weekend for sure is the Big Ten and all the SEC haters that have been saying for years, y'all get it easy. You get to play UMass. You get to play Marshall. Now you got to play 9 conference.
Hey, don't hate on Marshall.
Sorry, Brent. Just an example. They're also on CFP Elimination Watch this game week. But who won the weekend for me? Big Ten and SEC haters.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we were going to get there at some point with the Big Ten or with the SEC and with uniformity in the schedule. I think we should, by the way. I'm for that. I think we should have a uniform schedule across college football. But now let's go ahead and fix it like I've been saying for years too. Let's make the cross rivalries now. Let's make the SEC versus the Big Ten. Everybody plays somebody from the Big Ten. Everybody in that league plays somebody from that league. Everybody in the SEC plays somebody from the ACC. Everybody in the SEC plays somebody from the Big 12. Like, let's make those crossovers, man, so we got more data and more points at the end of this. We got more – and it's going to lead to better games, man. Like, you'll just see some really good football games and some cross matchups, and you get to go see different stadiums, different atmosphere, different conferences. I think all of that's really good.
So let's talk about the why of this a little bit. Do you think this was just first money driven? Because obviously you play more conference games, you're gonna get more money, you're gonna have bigger games to sell, advertisers, all the stuff that goes with it. Or was there a sort of strategery to this long-term play? What do you think?
Such a great word, by the way. The people that don't understand that word, did you hear the greatness of what it's like when people say amphibious. Like, it's just great. You know, you can use the left hand and the right hand the same. That it's amphibious. It's wonderful. Strategery, such a great word. I think there's strategy in everything. I don't know that any commissioner in this, especially Greg Sankey, does anything without thinking again. And there's the schedule that was floated with the 28 teams, like that was floated. Yeah. Obviously, you can fall in however you want to fall in on that. It should be burned and never be sealed, never be looked at again. Like, that's where I fall in on that. I just want to make sure I'm clear, Brent. Like, it should be burned, ripped up, put in a fire, whatever you want to say. It's very ungood. Like, it needs to go away. I want no part of that. But there's always strategy. And the Big Ten and the SEC are going to be working together. And this is going to be a long-term relationship, and there's going to be a lot of difference between everyone else. And it's either going to be everyone jump on board with those two squads for the long haul, or you're going to be looking for a spot to fish, right? Like, you're going to have to find that.
It's interesting how the Big Ten responds, especially when they put the second carrot of the high quality. I think that was the term that he used, high quality
H2O?
power conference.
No, that was Bobby Boucher.
Yes, but like just in general,
H2O.
I think because you think about Indiana with, Signetti and him saying,
he's
hey, we're
vocal,
taking a page
he's pretty
from the SEC, and now look at their non-conference schedule compared to what this is now with the SEC with 9 plus the 1. That's their. I do think the biggest winner in all of this, though, is fans, because especially fans that go to games. Because if you go to games, why would you want to go watch your team play someone that they're favored by 40, and it's over, the starters are out at halftime? Like, you want to go watch big games. And when the SEC goes to 9, you're going to see more big games. And maybe, especially if you're a fan of the team local to us, if you're a Georgia fan, maybe finally you'll actually go play at Texas A&M with the way this is, because you still haven't done that since they've been in the league. Yeah. Amazingly, how many years it is now that Texas A&M has existed in the SEC, Georgia's yet to play there.
13.
So
13.
There you go.
Yeah.
A lot of time for them to not play those teams.
This one's hot.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I never know. I can hear you right here too, so it's really weird. It's like kind of like we're really close. I can like reach out and touch you.
Please don't.
Very strange. And Brent, and by the way, this is the best proximity show ever because Brent's our neighbor right across the street. So literally,
one of these days I'm just going to walk across the street and
wait over there.
And do that.
Yeah. How did I beat you here, Brent?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
That's a great question for the person sitting beside you. I don't know. I think that's a really good question. One of these days we can. And hey, by the way, there's a lot of big games this weekend.
Oh man,
I don't know if you've looked at this. I don't know if you're excited at all.
I'm not
for these sort of kind of big games that are happening this weekend. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this weekend. I was trying to look. I don't think you've had this many top 10 matchups. Any sort of research I showed, maybe 2016 was a year where you had a lot of high profile games in an opening weekend. Like Alabama played USC, Jalen Hurts' first start kind of game, but Alabama killed them.
Yeah, when USC did the dog walk celebration,
the leash.
The game.
Yeah, they were on the leash, like they're like holding them back, and hold me. That's one of those when you're going to get in a fight with like the world's strongest man or a big 6'7", 300-pound guy. It's like hold me back, please don't let me go, please don't let me. Okay, I'm about to get done.
Like the amount of just ginormous games this weekend is all right. So speaking of that, hold on,
real quick. There's a bunch I'm excited for. Sean Walker. Have y'all seen the game day tribute to Corso? Yes, it's fantastic. Yes. And also, we're going to have Chris Fowler on Wednesday, and he'll be able to tell us some great Corso stories. Man, he was there so long with Lee, and one of the most like first of all one of the fittest play-by-play guys you'll ever see. Like Fowler's in every weight room that we go to. He's got the shirt on. He's doing bench press. Now we got to confirm he skipped some leg days. Not excited about the Chris. You got to do more leg day, but so many stories, and we'll get to preview all the games, obviously, with him, and he's obviously going to be calling one of the big ones, too. It's hard to beat 1 and 3. It's hard to say any game is more exciting than Texas and Ohio State, but I think I'm looking more forward to LSU and Clemson. Like, Battle of the Tigers, Battle of Death Valley. A lot of people on LSU hating on Brian Kelly. A lot of people on Clemson now, all in with Clemson. But still, there's absolutely still doubters with Clemson. So, like, I think everybody knows kind of Ohio State and Texas are going to be there in the end. They're going to have a chance in the playoff. I think all of us feel that way. This first game, though, with LSU and Clemson, like, man, they get to catapult. They get to start their season with something just freaking huge. Like, huge feather in the cap for both of those programs moving forward.
And you got, I don't know if you saw this, but Garrett Nussmeier is going to wear 18, which is the first QB that's wearing that since Matt Mock. And that
played against Matt Mock.
That was a pretty big season, I think, for LSU that year with him at QB. The interesting, you mentioned Texas and Ohio State. Did you see, you probably didn't see this, but YouTube TV and Fox Sports Fox in a little bit of a dispute. I saw maybe Wednesdays,
what's going on?
The date to reach an agreement that basically everybody went in, you better not let this happen and Fox not be on YouTube. You'd have to go find somewhere to.
It's amazing how this always happens right before football season.
First of all,
always
that's
right before football.
That's called great business is what that's called. That's smart. That is absolutely smart. Like, if I'm running a business and I know this is your biggest time and I have a chance to use that against you and you have to do something about it, that's brilliant business. Like, not hating, but we all have to get that. I don't know what everybody's TV service is, but like I have the hacked Fire Stick and it's absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
Should I say that out loud? I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but I get every game in boxes. And I just start slapping more screens on there and more games. And you just scroll over to the box to the one that has the volume and you listen. And it's just, hey, I get every UFC fight. I get every pay-per-view. I get every movie channel. It's crazy. I mean, I got a guy. I can't tell you his name. I'd indict
Fubo.
You
him.
know who you
But-
sound like right
Fubo.
now? You sound like my father, who is very much like, I think he's spent half his late life over the last decade figuring out ways to not pay for TV and get as much TV as possible without paying for it.
Man, we've talked about it. I'm notoriously cheap. I
that's
can't
fine.
tell you how many people's subscriptions I use to Netflix, to all to Amazon Prime.
Mine was
like,
used my DirecTV for the longest time.
for a long time. Yeah.
Other news, by the way.
We're in the victory
sort of news
formation.
yet.
Brent, who's your winner?
Okay.
Victory
Wait. Before we get
formation.
to one last news thing, my weekend W is the Hawaii kicker, and I'm gonna try to pronounce his name correctly.
Oh, geez. Pause.
Kansei Matsuzawa.
God bless you.
I
But
think you nailed it, Brent.
You did nail that.
I think that was close enough. But I mean, the first power conference win for Hawaii since 2019. Ali Hado was the QB that was like trying his best with the Byron Leftwich impersonation, and then he would actually run really fast, even though he was limping in between plays. But like the story with the kicker, and he played high school soccer in Japan, moved to the U.S. because he watched football, learned how to kick on YouTube.
That's crazy.
And he convinced a junior college, Hocking College, which is in Nelsonville, Ohio, and is near probably about 40 minutes from my hometown, near Athens, Ohio, on the way to Columbus. And I didn't even realize they had football. The only thing I know of that town is this boot factory that's there, but goes there, kicks, and then ends up at Hawaii. Like, he was Hawaii's kicker last year, but obviously when you make a winning kick and get that big of a win,
Yeah.
you win the weekend. Timmy Chain and head coach Hawaii,
that?
big for them. Like, just happy for them.
They needed some positivity. They needed something to go well. Hey, what about? I think we got time, man. What about that article? You want to hit that article real quick that we talked about? Because I thought it was
the fourth down or the under center versus shotgun.
I thought that was very. I thought it was very interesting. Like, by the numbers.
All right, we got to credit it. By the way, let me.
Okay, well, that's your job. I'm going to talk about it while you set that up. But it's interesting because for a lot. First of all, it took me a while. I can say this. I remember I thought that the spread formation was soft. Like, I'm just telling you, with my football background and my DNA and 21 personnel, 22 personnel, like 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, like, you hit people in the mouth. That's what you do. Like, you're physical. That's what it means to be physical. And then I think I was convinced as I started covering the game and going all over the place, and Urban Meyer in the SEC bringing Tebow, and then you see with Cam, like, you can still have that sense of physicality, and that's where we developed our offense, me and Brent with youth league football when we started back in the day, because a bunch of our buddies, they're like, no, we're not doing that. We're not tough. We're not physical. We're like, no. You can still be physical, but it's a spread offense. But people think taking the shotgun at the 1 yard line, like, why do you do that? And so what was the article? It was kind of cool just hearing some of the numbers.
Tuscaloosa News, Chase Goodbread sort of went back and looked. I think it was 15 teams that he looked at, and some success rates, whether they were under center or in the shotgun, and then at the 1 yard line. Specifically at the 1 yard line, and then backed it out a little bit. To me, the data, like, in and of itself, it's one of those things where it's still kind of a coin flip when you look at it. And there's so many other variables to me that come into play with this. It's just a matter of, and I think Cutcliffe in the article, he talked about David Cutcliffe, former Duke coach.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, practice what you know and teach what you know. And if you know the gun and you can do those things and still be physical and be successful out of it, you do it. If you want to be an under center team, you do it. Like, it's just a matter of do what you know, do what you're good at kind of thing for me.
Okay.
I didn't really look at it and think one way or the other.
Okay, but here's what I'll say. I got a couple opinions on the numbers of it. One, it's a fact, Brent. When you back up and you catch the ball, I have more time as a defense. Yeah. Like, you want to say it, we can debate all the numbers and all the different things. When you back up, I have more time for guys to get a full head of steam to come downhill, because the ball goes backwards for a little bit before I can go forward. So that's a fact. Another thing to me that I worry about the most, I worry about, if you wanted to flip the numbers, Brent, it always made me nervous coming out. Like, when I'm on my own 1 or my own 2 and I'm in the shotgun, I'm like, crap. Like one bad snap, one bobble snap, one missed timing, somebody shoots in. I'm like, son of a gun, man, I'm dead, and I'm giving up 2 points. Like that was scarier to me than when you had the ball inside the 5 going forward or on 4th and short. And listen, Kansas State, Iowa State, both of them, shotgun. Like short yardage situation, they were in shotgun. But you know what else it does? It also allows you to attack wide quicker. Like you can't attack wide under center. You can bring more people into the box. And so there's give and take to every system, man.
Yep.
Like it's how you attack it, how you choose to attack it. But all right, winners of the weekend.
Iowa State, though, by the way, first Iowa State, they went under center and then they tossed it and fumbled after the muff punt. So
yeah, it wasn't good. It was that wasn't good. But so Iowa State, huge winner of the weekend. Take a big step in the Big 12. But you know what's crazy? They've been playing that game 100 years in a row, which I think is nuts. That people don't understand. This game always matters. Rocco Becht, 3-0. Iowa State, 3 wins in the last 3 years. Like it's incredible. Tip of the cap, Iowa State. Way to start the season off. The best win in the country already. Number 1 team in the country right now in the power rankings. I mean, that's pretty fantastic. Nice way to start.
DP power rankings.
I mean, you got to give it to them. Who else are you going to give it to? So, and then Kansas, obviously coming out the way they did, looking the way they did offensively was big. Excited to preview the games, man. Like we're going to get into all the nitty gritty over the next couple of days. And we got 2 more this week that we'll jump into. Jump on this podcast with us, continue to listen. Chris Fowler, like we said, we got to get a Corso story. And then more importantly too, man, talk about the big games coming up. Which one are you most excited for? Because you didn't answer that question for me.
Notre Dame, Miami, I think is probably the one. I mean, LSU, for the reasons, and plus you said LSU, Clemson, so I wanted to be a little bit contrarian there. But Notre Dame, Miami for me is one that I'm curious to see what CJ Carr is.
Yeah.
And then also very curious to see what does Carson Beck look like in a completely different uniform.
You curious?
And the elbow and all that sort of thing. So I want to see that because if he looks the part, then Miami's ceiling is very different. If CJ Carr looks the part, like I said, I think 11-1 is their floor. If they get good quarterback play, so that's one for me.
Because I think you feel the same way I feel. Notre Dame's receivers are going to get better. Like they're going to be a step above where they were a year ago. And so if the line is the line and you got the best back in the country, I mean, you just like now you have good passing game because Riley Leonard alleviated the run game with his run game and a little bit of throwing, not a lot. But if you can throw the football and have a little bit more balance at Notre Dame, and then you just hand it to that monster, Jeremiah Love, and just let him do work, and then let Price dot your eyeballs and just run straight downhill and hit people in the mouth.
The Friday night games are going to be awesome.
Yeah.
With Auburn and Baylor, Georgia Tech, Colorado, like those are just going to be great college football games. It's
much goodness.
It's an opening weekend unlike any other, and we're obviously going to be, I mean, borderline working every day this week. In terms of Friday night will be live after those games. No high school football Friday night, so we're watching.
I got to work all weekend, baby. I'm sorry.
I know we have no high school game, but I got to watch.
I got to work. I got to work all weekend. Like this is a working weekend. Like Friday night, I got to watch. Saturday, I got to watch. Sunday, I got to watch. I got to watch Monday too. Like this is heaven. That's where you are right now. You're in heaven. You're at the pearly gates. Like it doesn't get any better for a college football fan with what we about to go through this weekend.
A sneaky game here that Mexican Medic has pointed out. He wants to see how good Tech money is this weekend. Do you know who Texas Tech is playing this weekend?
I got no shot.
I don't know what Mexican Medic is going to learn against Arkansas Pine Bluff as far as the Texas Tech money goes. Mexican Medic, I know there's a lot of money on the line. You might need to wait until after week 1. That's 7:30 on Saturday, by the way.
Let's see how good Tech money is this weekend. I don't think we're judging Texas Tech's money and what they spent this weekend, but it will be fun to watch. I mean, I gave Coach McGuire, Brent, on the show when we interviewed him. Like I gave him the perfect marketing ploy. Like instead of the Jordan, I gave him the Mahone silhouette, the sidearm silhouette. I want to see that come to fruition, man. I might shoot him a text, man. I want some.
You need a reminder, a gentle reminder.
Yeah, come on, man.
That.
All right, and then anybody else out there who's watching, man, just know we will reward
Find a way
the
to get
lids,
them
baby.
behind you.
Yeah, we'll get it up there, man. I found this thing on Amazon, like where it just drills into the wall, and you just kind of you'll drill on one side, and you just put it in like this, and then, I mean, just we go. But hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We'll have Fowler with us next time to preview everything, tell Corso stories, and then let's get weird. We'll make some picks the next day and just see what we got. We'll pick a ton of games, and then we'll start to keep a running tally to see how stupid we are, because that is the most important part. Hey, you got to keep track
I'm going
of
to
our
be bad at that, by the way.
fantasy
I'm usually
football
not good at that.
picks.
Yes, I'm usually quite.
You know why? You know why? I can tell you why.
Think too much because I think too much.
Because you're checking the weather in Dublin, Ireland for some stupid reason. Like, that's how much Brent is going to overthink this. But the good thing is he'll have all the numbers. We'll have all the angles. Keep joining us, man, on See Ball, Get Ball. And we'll keep pumping out content this college football season because it's going to be fantastic and an unbelievable start to week 1 this weekend.